For a look at how the federal government is responding to Florence, we bring in FEMA Deputy Administrator Daniel Kanuski. Daniel, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
What's your assessment at this stage?
Well, so far the storm is tracking as expected. The landfall was made, the winds decreased, and flooding has increased. What you're seeing is major inland flooding throughout the area of the Carolinas and soon to be moving northward. But I'll tell you what, it's only moving 2 miles an hour. This is going to be an ongoing threat to the Carolinas for quite some time.
What are your biggest concerns, Daniel?
It's the flooding. It's the impact of that flooding, and that's why we pre-positioned assets to that area specifically for flooding. That includes swift water rescue teams. Those are part of our urban search and rescue teams drawn from firefighters and paramedics from all over the country that we deploy to these areas to perform these kind of rescues, as well as support from the Department of Defense with high water vehicles and helicopters. Also, the National Guard is absolutely deployed in each of these states and are absolutely supporting these efforts.
We've had our crews around the clock going place to place, trying to look for damage, trying to see the impact of this storm. Have you seen evidence of people needing rescue in big numbers? Is there an ongoing rescue operation that maybe we haven't gotten to yet?
No, I think the local officials will have a better idea of the rescues underway right now.
Okay.
And the other thing is, FEMA is providing supplemental assistance. We're providing specialized equipment that the local and state governments might not have had in advance of this storm.
Sure.
So it's those vehicles and helicopters, but the ones employing them are generally the state guard, the National Guardsmen in each of these states, as well as the local first responders.
When you have a crisis of this nature, like Hurricane Florence, you got multi-states and lots of communities. Coordination between the federal, state, and local partners is critical. Your assessment of how that has gone so far?
Again, we didn't just start coordinating today. We've been coordinating throughout the entire planning and preparedness phase of this disaster. I'd say we're about where we need to be. We've had great communications with the states. In fact, at our daily 12:30 video teleconference, we got some great updates from the states. We're all in good shape as it stands right now, but we are prepared to do whatever is necessary as soon as these waters move, as soon as this storm moves further ashore.
For folks who have taken shelter, as was basically they were encouraged to do or really told to get out, they're obviously interested in getting back at some point. What's your advice for folks who may be in shelters right now who are concerned about what's left of their neighborhood?
Yeah, I'd say focus on yourselves and your families. And there's about 20,000 individuals in shelters across the Carolinas right now. I'm very proud of the work of our non-governmental organizations, such as the American Red Cross, sitting right behind me, doing all that sheltering and feeding missions. But yes, individuals are going to be coming back to some destruction, certainly on the coast. And as the inland flooding continues, it's inevitable that there will be damage. What I will say is the president did declare a disaster for the state of North Carolina. For those of you that are in that area, please download the FEMA app, both for the weather alerts and the emergency alerts, as well as emergency assistance. So you can apply for FEMA assistance right on our app.
Daniel, we've seen the 130-mile-an-hour winds may be gone, but the rain continues. The rivers continue to rise. Essentially, what is going to be the mission over the next 24 to 36 hours from FEMA's perspective?
Still life safety. We want to make sure that everyone is safe, that everyone is on high ground in a safe space. As the storm continues to move west, we're going to see these impacts continue. Like was mentioned by your meteorologist, it's not just the rain, it's the flow that's going to be coming down the rivers, and the riverine flooding is going to cause extreme impacts. This is now a historic storm. It is the most rainfall that North Carolina has experienced. There will be severe and ongoing impacts.
Well, Daniel Kanuski from FEMA, we thank you for your time. We know you've been working around the clock with your teams there, and we wish you the best in the days ahead as we try to all recover from Hurricane Florence.
Great. Thank you.